Hey, welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for job interviews, business or sales meeting, or even at conferences in front of a lot of people. Today, I'm going to give you a job interview tip, and it's about get technically frisked so you have leverage. Okay, what do I mean by that? When you get when police arrest you, they frisk you to see if you have any weapons. And then if you don't have any weapons, they feel much more comfortable talking to you, right? And this was kind of important in the movie The Godfather, when Michael Corleone wants to kill this mobster who tried to kill his father, Vito Corleone, the Godfather, and he wants to exact revenge. And he gets in the car and he gets frisked by this, I believe it was a lieutenant or uh, captain, I believe, McCluskey, and he frisks Michael, and he says he's clean. Now this became important because in between the meeting, Michael was there to really, you know, kill both of them essentially, and there was a gun placed in the bathroom, and he wants to go to the bathroom to get the gun so he can, kill these two guys. And Salazzo is getting a little nervous, like, hey, why is he getting up to go to the bathroom? And he tries to frisk him, and McCluskey says, "Oh, he's clean. I frisked him already. He has no weapon." And Salazzo at that point says, okay, since this guy already has validated him that he has no weapon, okay. And at that point, he didn't even think that he could even get a gun and get killed. That was his mistake, right? But that's Godfather, and I'm not going to try to go too deep into it. But there is something there that it teaches you that when you're interviewing for a job, you want to be technically frisked. Because every job today, technology is becoming more and more important. They need to frisk you technically. And there's somebody in the company that's been assigned to do that. That's his or her job. Do that over the phone. Do not, I repeat, do not ever get technically frisked in a face-to-face situation. That is not what you ever want to do. First of all, you're at a disadvantage. You don't want that to happen. You want to basically only proceed the person who's going to technically frisk you to say, yes, you're clean. I think you're safe now. We can discuss the business. And that's essentially what Michael was going to do with Salazzo, or at least that's what Salazzo thought. Okay? Until you get that validation that you are technically sound and that person can vouch for you, then only you want to move forward. And typically that's what happens because that person is going to give the feedback to the manager. And typically the manager doesn't want to go too deep technically, right? They want to stay kind of high level, but the detailed technical, they'll leave it to somebody else. That's their job. So you want to get technically validated, as I like to call it, frisked, so that the manager feels comfortable that, hey, I can now talk business with this guy. Okay, so that's the thing. You need to get that advantage. When you're first interviewing, the advantage is really not with you because they're the ones who have the offer and you want that offer. So the way you get closer to it to make them comfortable is get it right up there on the phone, on the video, get technically validated. And if they can vouch for you, now you got the leverage. The leverage suddenly swings to you. So what do you do with that leverage? Here's what I suggest you do. Do not ever go to a face-to-face interview unless you get something back. And what is the thing you want to get back? Now here's the thing. If you're going to give up an entire day or half a day for a face-to-face interview, that's a lot of time you're giving up to go for an interview where you don't know whether they're going to be an offer at the end of the table. You ask them to send you a sample offer, what that looks like. But without that, you don't know that there is an offer. You want to see what that offer looks like. They say, well, we'll send you an email. No, they got lawyers. They can put an offer. It's all template. They can put an offer with the salary, and you want to see it because without that, you don't know if you're wasting your time. They can tell you all these things. That there are a lot of situations where people go for these interviews and nothing has ever come out. If they say, well, no, we don't do that, then tell them that you're going to have to compensate me for the hours that I'm putting in. Unless I accept the job, then I can reimburse you for that. They have to give you something. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot just go to an interview at their site unless you get something in return to say, yes, I got something in return. They are serious. Now I can go and have business to business talk about. Remember, getting a job is a business conversation you're having, okay? This word interview is kind of a misnomer. It makes it feel like the employer has all the power and you don't. You got to seize it back and saying, listen, we're going to have a business to business conversation, just like Michael was going to have with Salazzo, right? And at that point, you can determine whether you want to reject it or not. That's a choice you have. They got to offer something back to you. If they're not giving you anything and you just show up, the leverage essentially you have given it up. You have given up the leverage you had with being technically validated. So keep that in mind. These little things might come across as like, oh, you're being petty and all that. No, because here's the thing. A job interview is not really an interview. Interview is like, when somebody is interviewing, a journalist is interviewing it. That's an interview. A job interview is actually a misnomer. It's actually doing a job. And if you don't show your toughness, then you're not going to get the job. Like, I could be a real tough guy, but if I'm a wimpy interviewee, I'm not going to get the job. And I could be this wimpy guy that I am, but I could be very tough in an interview. I'll get the job. So be careful, okay? These tough guys, and I coach many of them from the military, they are pretty wimpy when it comes to interviews. I got to make them tough, and they get jobs. So I want to pass that on to you, that being tough doesn't mean you're going to be a tough interviewee. So asking them for a sample offer, and if they say no, ask them, then I need to be compensated. Otherwise, why should I make a trip? Because at the end, I don't even know if there's an offer. It's like you're taking a leap of faith here. They could be a reputable company. Let me tell you, sending you a sample offer is not a big deal. It's just that nobody ever asks. Ask and tell them why you need to ask. And you have a leverage to ask. Use it. That's how this game is played. Okay? So I hope you do that, because I don't want you to just go to a face-to-face interview and not have the leverage. Because if you have the leverage and if you're tough, you will get the job. Okay? Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, let me know. And if you ever need help with interviewing, just reach out to me at joza@phytoolgroup.com, and I can help you. Thank you for watching.